And we're live.
We are live. We made it back. I can't believe we made it back for a second pod.
First night in the books.
First night in the books.
How'd we do, David?
Yeah, so it was an interesting night. Watched a little bit of the games. You want me to recap the games?
Yeah, let's do a quick recap.
Quick. So 2 games. We covered both of them yesterday. The first was the Celtics-Sixers. Celtics ended up winning 126-117. So they cleared the spread as Tom was on, and they covered the over, which we were both against. So a lot of scoring in that first game. Harden, great game, 35, 8 and 7. Embiid, 26, 15 and 5, and then Maxey covered the 17.5 you were on, Tom, and got 21.
Can I just tell you how disappointed I was that Harden had 35, Tatum had 35, and Brown had 35? And if those were parlayed together, those are some monster numbers.
You know, I just realized that now. Yeah, you're right. And Tatum and Brown both had 35. Tatum had a lot of rebounds too with 12. So, good game.
You were on, my friend.
I like I said yesterday, he can turn it up and really get some boards if he wants, and he clearly wanted to yesterday. And then the night game was a bit of a blowout. It got tighter, I think, in the fourth quarter, but Golden State ended up winning 123-109. Cleared the over of 224.5 as we predicted, but the Warriors ended up covering, which we were against. LeBron had 31, 14 and 8, monster game. Most of that came in the second half.
Late, right?
Yeah. AD 27, 6 and 0. Westbrook had a nice game at 19 and 11 and 3. And Pat Bev had 4 steals and I think 2 blocks too. So you're
all over that one. Yeah.
Curry on the other side. Curry 33, 6 and 7. Wiggins 26 and 4. So he really looks like he's the number 2 on that team at this point. Maybe surpassing Clay. Clay, decent game, 18, 2 and 3. He just missed that third rebound that you were after, Tom. Yeah. And Kuminga had a terrible game. I thought he was going to be great. He played.
It was Wiseman that had the game. We were kind of saying Kuminga, Wiseman. Wiseman was the one last night.
Exactly. But overall, good. It was less sloppy than I thought. The Lakers looked pretty pathetic. I don't think they have much of a shot.
I think they're going to be out of it pretty early.
Yeah.
This season.
Any other observations from last night?
No. Let's get into today's games here.
Okay. All right. So we decided to highlight the New York games today, right? You got the New York Knicks going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, and the New York and the Nets going up against the Pelicans.
2 of the most fun league pass teams for sure. The Grizz and the Pels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So both games are at 7:30 tonight. Although I think they're actually going to tip off closer to 7:40. The Knicks game is covered on ESPN, and the Nets game is surprisingly on local TV. It's on the Yes Network.
Surprised with Zion making his comeback and Ben Simmons. I'm surprised it's not a national game.
Exactly. So let's start off with the Knicks.
All right.
Okay. All right. So what do you want to cover? Starting lineups.
Let's do let's run through the starting lineups. Then we'll talk about the game. Spread. Total.
All right. So on the Knicks side, we got point guard Jalen Brunson, new addition, signed a 4-year, $104 million contract. So really good add to the team. Shooting guard, you got Fournier coming back. I think this is his 2nd season. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
My boy Duke grad. Well, he didn't graduate. He left early. R.J. Barrett. A lot
of Dukies in this game.
Yeah, and both games actually. That's why I wore
That's
that
true. Yeah, you're right.
hat. You got Randall, Julius Randall. We'll see what he does this year at power forward, and then Mitch Robinson at center. Um, so no real notable injuries on the Knicks side. I think Grimes is out, and then some bench notes. You've got Isaiah Hardestein was added this year.
We like that addition.
You like that addition? Gives him a little
do.
bit of depth behind Mitch when he gets hurt.
Yes. I'd also like to just point out that it's Jericho Sims' birthday, though I doubt he'll get much playing time tonight. or that there's any props available to bet on him.
No. On the Grizzlies side, we got Morant, the man, starting at point guard. We got Desmond Bane at shooting guard. John Conchar, if I said that right, starting at small forward. Then you got a little bit of a surprise, Sianti Aldama, starting at power forward in place. Yeah,
because Triple J got hurt, right?
Yeah, Triple J is out, which is probably one of the biggest impacts. And then they also have Brooks, but Brooks is going to come off the bench. And then we got our boy Steven Adams coming in strong at center.
All right. What are we looking at in terms of spread in this game?
Yeah, so the spread's been moving. When I looked at it yesterday, I think it was around Memphis -6, 6.5, something like that. This morning it came down to Memphis -4. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, I saw 4.5 or 5 earlier.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
realize
moving.
it had come down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We noticing any sharp action on this?
Yeah, the over/under is 226. There's 7 moves for the Knicks +4 and 7 moves on the under when I looked it up earlier.
Okay. How you feeling about either of those?
Well, so in terms of what's going on in this game, we got Triple J out, right? So Jaren Jackson Jr. And I think that's, he played pretty much every game last year. I think he sat out maybe 2 games.
I think he started. Did he? I thought he started the season. I thought he was out. He seems like he's always out.
He played quite a bit, but he's, his offensive impact is good. His defensive impact is huge.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like top 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think his absence is going to be a big factor in kind of what Memphis can do. Also notable, Kyle Anderson left the team for, I think he's in Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Melton also left in that trade for Danny Green.
That's right.
So
spoke about him yesterday.
Yeah, really, the Grizzlies got weaker in the offseason. They have less depth. Really didn't make any significant adds. So there's kind of 2 stories here, right? You got the Knicks, making significant adds, and then the Grizzlies kind of losing some pieces. So I think that all lends itself towards maybe a good output by the Knicks. What do you think?
Yeah, I got a couple plays that I'm looking at prop wise to go along with that, but yeah, I think I would. I think I like the. I think I like the Knicks with those points tonight. I think it's going to be a close game. I could see Memphis pulling it out at home, but I think those points and I don't know. I don't really have a lean on the over/under. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think the line's pretty fair, around 226. If I had to lean, I'd probably go with the sharps and say under.
Mm-hmm. Just because it's first game of the season and everyone's
although
tight.
yesterday, both of those games there was a lot of offense. So
yeah,
this is definitely a hard game to predict, just because both teams have significant differences from last year with Triple J out and the addition of Brunson.
Yeah. I guess that's it for the game. You want to run down a few props that I'm looking at on this one?
Yeah, I know you get really excited about props, so why don't you kick that off?
I do. So our first one here that I'm really loving is you got Mitch Robinson coming back. I don't think he played after about January last year. He didn't finish the season. He finished the season hurt. Couple things I was looking at for him. They played Memphis twice last year. He did play in both those games. He had a game against Memphis last year where he had 8 blocks.
Whoa.
And the second game he had 4.
Wow.
Both against Memphis. So something to keep in mind.
Who's he blocking?
The lineups are pretty similar. You know, who's he blocking? I didn't dig that deep.
Like, that's really bad if he's getting 8 blocks in a game. Like, they must be throwing up some bad shots.
Yes. So, I also like 2 more from Mitchell Robinson. His points at 7.5 are pretty low. Again, in those 2 games against Memphis last year, he had 14 and 10. And rebound-wise, his line's 8.5, and he had 11 and 16 in the 2 games against Memphis last year. So you also have a nice line if you wanted to look at points and rebounds, which I'm kind of leaning towards. It's 16.5, and those 2 games against Memphis last year, he had 25 and 26. So he cleared it significantly. So I think that's my play today is I think a little something on his blocks, which are probably 1.5, and his combo points rebounds at 16.5. Any thoughts?
I like that. I like the combo points because
he'll do one or the other, right?
Yeah, he's going to get one or the other. Although I think the last time you advised me about Mitch Robinson, he picked up like 3 fouls in the first 5 minutes of the game.
I think we were at that game against the Mavs, right?
Oh yeah, that might have been that one. So, so it really, it's kind of like go with whatever's less risky with him, which is give him the flexibility of the combo, because he's probably going to get hurt or have foul trouble.
Yeah, I like it, and if he's scoring, the boards probably decrease. There's some balance there, so I do like having the flexibility of the combo for that.
I'm really hoping he has like one of those plays where he misses like 4 shots in a row and gets like a ton of rebounds and then puts it back.
Those are great. Yeah, you got like 3 rebounds on the same play. Those are my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other ones. The only other one I had for the Knicks was Randall rebounds. I was kind of leaning. I like rebounds in these early games, these early season games. People are a little tight, miss shots. It's at 9.5. And the 2 games against Memphis last year, he had 12 in both games against Memphis. So that's not super strong, but something I was leaning towards for the Knicks. My other, and then I had Brunson. So when he played Memphis last year on January 14th, he had 5 steals in that game. And his assist line also seems low. It's at 4.5. I think his first game as a Knick, he's going to want to get his teammates involved. He had 7 and 9 in his 2 games against Memphis last year, assists, and that 4.5 number is looking nice to me.
Yeah, I like that. I think, I think he's going to do something today. So
yeah,
I think
five assists for the new Knicks starting point guard does not seem like a big ask.
No, I think that line is set based on 20 years of not having a point guard. Minus Jeremy Lin, right? Because he was great for 5 games.
That's it on the New York side. I got 2 quick plays on the Memphis side. Desmond Bane, 3.5 rebounds. We like those low totals. He had 7 and 5 in the 2 games against the Knicks last year. So I like that, especially with Triple J not in the lineup. There'll be probably some more defensive boards to go around. And I like this one a lot. Ja, 7.5 assists.
I What did he average last year? Do you know?
I don't know what he averaged, but I know that he cleared. So I did a little digging just to see how he finished out the season. He covered that number in 9 of his last 10 games to finish the season, and 8 of his last 10 home games to finish the season. And in his 2 games against the Knicks, he had 9 and 8. So he cleared it both times against the Knicks last year.
All right. You're not worried about that with maybe some less options to throw the ball to this year?
Throw the ball to? A little bit. Though I feel like I don't know. I feel like Triple J is missing so many games that he deals with this often. So I don't know. I'm still on it.
All right. I think that's good. I like that one probably the least out of your picks, but I think everything else.
It is a little high.
Good.
It is a little high. Yeah.
The one is that it for your props? I
for that game.
One.
Yep. That's it. Yep.
I had one to add. Steven Adams. So he'll be starting. He had like a weird end of the season. He ended up basically going from being the starter in the playoffs to
not
playing, and then they kind of put him back in towards the end against the Warriors, I believe. But his rebound total is at 8.5, minus 140, so a little bit of juice there.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked up the 2 games that he played last year without Triple J. He put up 9 and 9 in 20 minutes. So I think he's going to get probably closer to 30 minutes of play today, maybe high 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So if history repeats, I think he's gonna grab closer to 10 boards. So
yeah,
I'd go with that.
I like that.
Okay. Another note on Steven Adams.
Yes.
What's the fun fact about Steven Adams with respect to the jump ball? Do you remember?
With respect to the jump ball, he's a very high percentage, right?
Yeah, he's like a beast on winning jump balls. So it might be the sole reason why he's in the league. But I think he wins close to 71% of jump balls. So if you're interested in first basket bets, Memphis is the team to go after. They're gonna win the jump ball, and then it's just a matter of whether or not they score.
But you're just betting Memphis to score the first basket, not a specific player.
I don't know if they offer that, but usually the best player to pick on Memphis is Jaren Jackson, but he's not in, so it'd probably be someone like Ja or Bane.
Yeah, probably
right?
Ja. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
Moving
on
on.
this one?
No, I think that's it. That's all I got.
All right. So the primetime game, even though it's the same time, is the Pelicans versus the Nets. Again, 7:30 p.m. It's on Yes Network, and I will be attending the game with my daughter Sam.
Very nice.
Very excited. I'm gonna wear my Duke hat there and a Nets shirt, so it'll be really confusing for people. But
covering all your bases.
Yeah, this way, if I could be happy with whoever wins. So you want me to go through starting lineups?
Yeah, take it away.
All right. So on the Pels side, McCollum, love him. Added the trade deadline last year, made a huge impact to the team. You got another Dookie, Brendan Ingram, at shooting guard. He's pretty amazing. He seems to be getting better every year. Herb Jones, I think this is his second year. Is that right?
Yeah, he was a rookie last year.
Yeah, amazing.
Great defensive player.
Yeah, great defensive player. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's going to do some great things this year.
Yeah.
The big one, Zion, coming back at power forward. Didn't play at all last year. In 2020, he played 64 games, scoring 27 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game, 3.7 assists per game, and 0.9 steals per game. So for a first kind of full season in the league, because his rookie year he didn't play that much either. Pretty amazing output. So everybody's excited to see what he can do.
For sure.
And then Joe Val at center. who's kind of one of the few remaining traditional centers, but fun to watch.
We love us some Joe Val.
We do. Love his beard, actually.
It's an impressive beard.
Injuries, nothing really major. I think Lewis, Liddell, and maybe Jackson Hayes, but Jackson Hayes would probably not play much anyway. Bench notes. Love to talk about this guy in a bit. Jose Alvarado.
I have him on my notes too.
I know you do, and I know why, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
And then moving on to the Nets side. So we got Kyrie, contract year. What a mess in the offseason. Looked like he was going to go to the Lakers. Ends up, opting in. And he probably won't be coming back to the Nets after this year, but he's...
we'll see how things go,
Yeah, if they win a championship, everybody will forget all this nonsense. But
yeah.
But I think he's going to be motivated this year. He's got to...
I think so.
He's got to make up for all that COVID money he lost. We got Royce O'Neal, an addition from, I believe he came over from the Jazz.
Yep.
Decent 3-point shooter. Kind of
Good
hard-nosed guy. Good defender. Could be a good addition for this team. Maybe replace
your classic 3-and-D kind of guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Replace Bruce Brown a little bit since he left the team. KD, not much to say about him. He's a stud.
It's KD, yeah.
And then Ben Simmons, that's probably the most exciting guy on the net side. See what he can do right after not playing for a very long time, too.
Yep.
And then you got Claxton starting at center. Did you see that he shaved his head? He had these amazing braids.
No, I didn't. The blonde braids.
Yeah, he had this, but he looks so much shorter now. He looks like he's 6'5" now. I think
the hair was adding some inches.
Yeah, I think the hair got him up to 7 feet, and now without the hair, he's 6'5".
Interesting. It's like my little fish over there. I added new fish, and he didn't like them, so he puffs out his gills, make himself look bigger. Maybe that's it's a similar sort of thing.
Okay, you should name your fish Claxton.
Claxy boy.
Claxy boy. All right, and then injuries. There's some notable injuries on the net side. We got Curry is out, Harris is out, and new addition T.J. Warren, who you were all over. He is from his great days in the bubble. He's out.
The bubble boy.
The bubble boy. He's
still out. Hasn't played in 2.5 years. Still can't get it together, huh?
Yeah, he must be good. Yeah. Bench notes. So some ads in addition to Royce O'Neal and Warren. I noticed that the Nets added Markieff Morris, so that's good for a little toughness. And then their losses. The big loss was Bruce Brown, Andre Drummond, Dragic, and Aldridge. So that's it for the
two big of losses.
lineups.
I think Brown was the main one there.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the team and I'm like, who is the center? Right, you got Shorty Claxton now. Going to go up against Joe Val. Is he going to be able to handle him?
It's one of my notes right here. Is keep an eye on centers against Brooklyn.
Yeah, centers against Brooklyn. Didn't it used to be centers against Boston?
Well, it was Brooklyn too, but also centers against Boston too. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe that'll be a theme of the year.
That was before Rob Williams kind of became a stud. So.
Yeah. All right, and then we got game lines. Spread is Nets -3, and the over/under is 230.5. So pretty high over.
Any sharp action?
Yeah, sharps. Heavy action on
New Orleans. I see
New
that.
Orleans +3, and then a little bit on the under. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tight game.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't mind that New Orleans number. I think they, they had that great run to end the season. They did well in the playoffs, right? They almost knocked off Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
I think there's probably going to be some growing pains with the Nets. That I for sure could see New New Orleans winning outright, and I like them with those 3 points, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I could see the Nets kind of taking it, putting the pieces together. But yeah, all right, I'm with you.
I think Zion's going to have a monster game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I'm kind of on the other side of the fence of the Sharps. I think the over is going to hit in this one. I think it's going to be close.
So too. Yeah,
but
I agree with you.
It's going to be somewhere in the 230 range, 235, maybe somewhere around there.
Yeah. Okay.
Just one other note: the Nets are currently on a 7-game win streak, head-to-head against the Pelicans.
Interesting.
So, but again, there's a huge factor with Zion coming to play.
All right.
All right. Any thoughts on props?
Of course. Should we talk about our man Jose Alvarado first?
Yeah.
You want to do that? You seem like you had something. No.
Well, no. I mean, So I'll just introduce Jose Alvarado. He's Christ the King high school basketball player in Queens.
There we go.
But the first time I saw him play was at Georgia Tech when he played against Duke and just demolished Duke. Like, the guy couldn't miss, and you could just tell he's got this killer instinct to him.
Look what he did to Chris Paul in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Chris Paul questioning his abilities there.
So you like him because he's a Brooklyn guy, hometown play. Is that where you're going?
So I like him. He's one of our hometown heroes here tonight. He has played. He was a rookie last year, so he doesn't have a lot of playing time. He has played in New York against the Knicks and the Nets both last year. He didn't have a big part in the rotation. He played 20 minutes against the Knicks, 15 minutes against Brooklyn. But in that game against the Knicks, he had 13 points, 4 assists, and 4 steals. So I'm liking something on him in this game. And the game against Brooklyn, he had 7 points, 2 assists, and 1 steal in 15 minutes. I love him for a steal tonight if that's available. And I'm sure his point line is probably pretty low. I think he's basically their sixth or seventh man, depending if you count Devontae Graham. Coming off the bench, so he's got a much larger role this year, and I'm liking that play today as one of our hometown heroes.
I wish we had music to accompany that.
Dun, 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 dun. And while we're on hometown heroes, I just want to add, I don't know if he's going to get any run tonight, but you have the Derrick Rose University of Memphis connection playing in Memphis. So for whatever that's worth.
What the hell was that circus music you just sang?
Dun, 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 dun.
I was thinking Jay-Z New York song or something.
You didn't want him to come out to carnival music?
No.
No, okay.
No, how is that going to pump him up to do anything?
A barbershop quartet, maybe?
But I appreciate you being brave and saying.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, who else you got?
Mr. Ben Simmons. We like Mr. Ben Simmons tonight. I think his numbers are going to be artificially low just because he hasn't, done anything. Some promising historical data to throw at you here. The last time he played against the Pelicans when he was on the Sixers, not the last time he played against the Pelicans on the Sixers, but it might have been the last time, but it was when Zion and Ingram were both in the rotation. It was in April of 2021. He had 5 steals.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. He's going to want to come out and do this. And in his last 3 preseason games against Philly, Miami, and Milwaukee, he had a steal in every one of those games. He had 2 against Milwaukee. So I like that. The other thing I like for Ben Simmons tonight is his rebound and assist line. It's 14.5. It's minus 120, so there's a little juice, but I wanted to take a look at, his historical stats are a little all over the place. He's obviously never played for the Nets. So I looked at his last 4 opening nights. Kind of see, tonight's opening night, right? So in 2020, he had 16 rebounds and assists and 2 steals. 2019, 17 rebounds and assists. He had no steals in that game. 2018, he had 23 rebounds and assists and 4 steals. And opening night 2017, he had 15 rebounds and assists and 2 steals.
So what does that say? The guy comes out to play a role, right?
To play a role, yeah. I don't know about the scoring, but I think I mean, that's what he's good at. He was never a huge scorer, right? He'd get those triple doubles, but they'd be like 12-point triple doubles, you know? Yeah, I like that. He's out to prove something. This is his new chance, new life, and those are the two. I like him on his steals and his rebounds and assists.
Yeah, I was really excited when they traded Harden for him because like they had too much.
I think he's going to be exactly what they need, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of like, you know, like you're a cook, right? So you like you make a recipe, you put all these like perfect ingredients together, and sometimes, you know, you eat the dish and it tastes like crap. So it could just be that what looks good on paper is not going to work out, but it makes sense, right? It's like the guy doesn't want to be in the spotlight. He's tall, athletic, can play good defense, rebound, pass the ball. So he should thrive here.
And he's got someone like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to pass the ball to, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I know. I'm pretty hopeful about his season.
Bullish?
I think now I'm bullish on his season, and I think it's I think now's the time to jump on some of these lines, like get him now while the lines, because they're gonna go up, you know.
So maybe a season long prop on him too. Could be good. You know, I think his success is going to hinge entirely upon what his pregame outfit is. Like if he
does have some fancy outfits.
Like if he rolls up in like some ridiculous like leather suit, he's going to have a bad game. If he like comes dressed,
you want him to be more low key when he gets
yeah
to the game.
Yeah, he's
not like LeBron
much...
with the white suit last night with no shirt on underneath.
Well, I mean, LeBron can wear whatever the hell he wants. He's like earned that, and he's going to come to play.
Ben
regardless.
Simmons, not so much.
Ben Simmons is just he's a clown so far, but you know, maybe he'll do something tonight. So, all right, I like that too. That's a good pick.
Okay.
What else?
I got 2 more for you here. Maybe 3 more. Brandon Ingram, his assist number. I don't love the assists just because I feel like people are going to be a little tight. There's going to be some unconverted assists. So it worries me a little bit. Not my favorite prop to bet on, but the line's 4.5. We do have to keep in mind Zion was not in the rotation, when for these numbers. So you have to take them with somewhat of a grain of salt, but he covered that in 7 of his last 10 games and 22 of his last 30 games. And he had 8 in his 1 game against Brooklyn last year. If you get that number down, if you alt his assist number down to 3.5, the numbers get quite compelling. He covered that in 86% of his games last season, and 91%. That's 30 of 33 away games, road games last season. He covered that 3.5 assists. So you want to alt it down, you're definitely going to be paying some juice. It might be minus 200, but I think that's a winning ticket.
Yeah, I think he's only going to get better assist numbers with
Zion there, right?
Yeah, with Zion.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. I agree. So.
And a full season of McCollum, like I think these guys are. I think his role is going to change a bit. I mean, he was the guy who was the primary scorer. I don't know if he will be. I don't know if he will be this year.
So then you're liking that then.
I'm kind of liking it. If it's minus 200, I'm not liking that. But maybe you can put it together with something else that we talked about.
So my next one is for our man Joval. I forgot to write down what his line. Maybe you could look it up real quick, see what his double-double line is. It's usually not great, but he cleared the points leg of the double-double in 90% of his games last season and 93% of his road games. He did in 37 of 40 road games last year. Okay. And he got to the 10 rebound number in almost 75% of all games he played last year.
All right, so double-double for Joe Val you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Minus 135.
Yeah,
on DraftKings.
I'm all over that one tonight.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, who's going to get rebounds from him? Like,
Exactly.
He's got more competition on his own team than he does with the Nets. So I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah. And my last one, not a huge play. This is another one where it's like alting it down, but for Durant, I didn't have a chance because I couldn't. It didn't have alt rebounds available yet. I don't know if it's up there now, but if you put him at 25 points and 5 rebounds, which he cleared in the points leg, he cleared in 75% of games last year, and the 5 rebounds he got in over 80% of games last year. Those two together might be nice. Might be like a minus 115, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that could be nice.
Yeah.
And what about Zion? You got nothing on Zion?
Oh, yes. Well, there was no lines out yet, so I didn't have anything. But I did text you yesterday that I want to do a big bet on what I think I said Zion 30 points, 10 or 12 boards, and I don't know 5 or 6 assists, something like that. Just like a monster parlay. But I definitely love him. You look like you researched this a little bit more. So if you want to take this one, but I love him on his overs tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I saw before. I didn't look at his rebounds or assists, but I looked at 2 stats. His points were at 18.5. Since moved up to 19.5.
Yeah.
So I think that's just going to keep climbing. I don't see how he doesn't score 20 points today unless he's on some type of minutes restriction. But I think he's.
I don't think so.
I mean, God, the guy's like 20, early 20 somethings, and like, been out.
Hasn't played in over a year.
They got to cut him loose, right?
Yeah.
So I like that. The one I like even more, which is available, is his steals. So his steals was minus 120 for a steal. And like I said, in 2020, when he played the full season, he averaged 0.9 steals per game.
Wow.
The Nets averaged 14.1 turnovers per game last year, which was 13th worst in the league. So they're kind of middle of the pack on turnovers, but they have a tendency to be a little sloppy with the ball.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I think he's definitely going to get a steal. So, I would say go big on the points, like go with something huge like 30 and see if you can nail that. Or just be conservative and go with like a steal, because I think he's going to get a steal.
Nice. I like it.
Good.
I like it. We're doing a big boy on Zion today.
Big boy.
A big boy.
He's less of a big boy this year. You see, he kind of
He slimmed down a little bit.
Slimmed down, stopped eating all that jambalaya down there.
He's ready to play, boy.
He's gonna put on a highlight reel tonight. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited for that game.
Okay. All right. What else? You got anything else on that game?
Just checking here. No, that's it.
Okay. All right.
I do have a couple other little nuggets for you though.
Yeah. So tonight is a much bigger slate than last night. I'm not going to deep dive into any other games, but I think Tom, you have a couple other props.
A couple
that
I couldn't sign off. Yeah, without bringing up. Yeah,
couldn't resist. All right, go ahead.
Could not resist. Okay, so one game I'm actually really excited to watch tonight is Cleveland Toronto. I'm pretty high on Toronto this year. And Cleveland will be exciting to see what Donovan Mitchell can do in the mix there.
When was the last time somebody made that statement?
Cleveland and Toronto.
Cleveland and Toronto.
I know. Probably never.
Probably never. You're the first.
Never. So a couple I liked from that one. I thought OG Anunoby to have 2 threes in the game. He had 3 and 4 in his 2 games against Cleveland last year. He had 7 of his last 10 home games. He cleared it, and 20 of his last 30 home games. He cleared it. So I like him for that number. He also got rid of the periods in his name this year. So it's like he's like a fresh man, and he's ready to
Didn't R.J. Barrett do that, or someone else did that, and they like reinvented themselves?
I don't know. But
Get rid of the periods.
I like what you're saying.
Yeah. It's a good observation, Tom.
Yes, thank you. My other one I really like from this game is, although I will I will preface it by saying I think he's kind of a slow starter. If historically, I'd have to look into that a little bit, but that's my recollection. But Pascal Siakam, 4.5 assists. He did it in 20 of his last 30 games and 9 of his last 10 games to finish the season last year. And he did it in 22 of 30 and 8 of 10 home games to finish the season. So he's just crushing that number. The team hasn't changed. They've only gotten another year experience with FVV and Siakam and Scotty Barnes and Anunoby. I like that. I like that for him to get 5 assists tonight.
I like that too. I think he advanced quite a bit, even with all that extra talent around him. He became a better player, I think, last year. So I think he's going to continue to expand this game beyond just a scorer.
I think I remember hitting several times on that 4.5 number with his assist towards the end of last season. So I might be leaning that way too because of that. But
I also recall him being another Mitch Robinson type that gets in
early foul trouble.
Yeah, so watch out for that.
Yeah. Okay. Another game I really like tonight to watch is the Atlanta-Houston game. I think it's the highest total on the board, like 233. So there's going to be a lot of scoring. I think Jalen Green is just going to have a monster season the way he finished the season last year. It's his team that he's going to get all the run he can take. His point line is 22.5. He did it in 8 of his last 10 games to finish the season. One of those games was against Atlanta on April 10th, and he had 41 points in that game. So I like that. It's his team. The only guy you have to worry about, I guess, is Kevin Porter, but I think Green is the stud of that team.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't like him for the points, the other thing is his threes. It's his line's 2.5. But listen to this. His last 10 games last season, he hit 4 threes 8 times. He hit 5 threes 5 times, and he hit 6 threes 4 times in his last 10 games. And he had 4 against Atlanta in one of those games.
Yeah, so. I would consider putting like 5 threes and 30 points together for him.
Yeah, and get some big numbers,
Yeah.
That's happening, by the way.
He's going to do that. And Atlanta, I don't think really is, even with
they don't
Murray
defend.
there, they're not going to defend. This is going to be a huge shootout. Lots of scoring on both sides. Like, I could just see Green coming down half court, pulling up for a 3. Young going back the other way, pulling for a half court 3, and just doing that for half the game.
Yeah. So I'm high on that one. Another one I know we love a little Clint Capella, usually for rebounds, but I actually like his block for him to get a block tonight. He did it in 21 of his last 30 home games to finish the season, and he had 2 both times they played Houston. It's also a revenge narrative for Capella since Houston traded him to Atlanta. So I like him to have a block tonight.
Is it really a revenge, like when you went from like a crappy team to a better team?
I take any narrative I can get, Dave.
Is he gonna have the little gold patch on his hair?
Usually,
because I think that's what allows him to be powerful.
that little blonde streak.
Yeah, him and Schroeder.
He's like
I think
him and Elsa from Frozen.
That's excellent.
I got a couple more. Okay, we'll save that one for last. Miles Turner, another block guy. He doesn't have Sabonis to compete with anymore down low. In his 2 games against he didn't finish. I think he got hurt sometime early January, so he only played the first half of the season or so last year. But he did play 2 games against Washington. He had 3 and 4 blocks in those 2 games. And then check this out. He He covered that line in 25 of his last 30 games he played last year, and 19 of 24 home games. So Miles Turner for the blocks with no Sabonis this year. I like that one against Washington. And Washington doesn't really have a big guy, right? Like Thomas Bryant's not on the team anymore, and they don't have a real presence down low. So
yeah, and Turner's like been, the talk of like trade talk for the last 2 seasons, right?
So they're going to want to pump up his value.
Well, no, I mean, I think finally he's got a home. I would think, right? Like, so maybe that. Like,
now that they made the decision to
right, it's like you're the guy.
Yeah.
Go out there and be the center. So that could be good. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, and now I have 2 plays tonight for the 3-name player bets of the day.
Ooh. How many 3-name players are there in the league?
I don't know. I didn't get that far yet, but there's 2 that popped out tonight, and we're gonna find out. We're gonna have this. I'm gonna put the list together of all the 3-name players because you got Karl Anthony Towns on there too. So tonight we got 2. We got SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Get a load of this. His line's 22.5 points, right? His he did it in 9 of his last 10 and 23 of his last 30 games to finish the season. And his assist line is 4.5, and he also did that in 9 of 10 and 26 of his last 30. So the numbers are super compelling. I think you parlay those 2 together, yeah, I think it's a good one. I mean, Giddey will probably that's the one thing I worry about. More the distribution comes from Giddey. So maybe if you'd probably get some decent odds on even doing something like 20 points and 4 assists on him. So that's a play I'm looking at. And then
I think also if you're at the end of the first quarter and he's got 2 points and you're freaking out, don't, because he tends to just
he's the
score
second
in
half
batches. Yeah, and just batches. Like he'll rip off 10 points in a row and then go quiet for 5 minutes. So I think I like that. That seems like a low line for him. He could end up with 28, 29 points.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay. And who's the next 3-name player?
Is a man near and dear to your heart, my friend Dave. KCP.
Oh, I love that guy. He's on a new team, right?
What team is he on? Who does he have dishing the ball to him? None other than Nikola Jokic.
Oh, that's right. I did see him in the preseason.
What more could you ask for than getting open looks from Jokic? The line's 11.5. He did it in 8 of 10 and 21 of 30 of his last games and 20 of 30 on the road. The guy gets there all the time. You can parlay this with like him getting 2 threes or a 3 to juice it up a little bit. It's a beautiful bet. You know it's happening tonight. This is his new team. Denver's the team that's going to win the West this year, I believe. And, yeah, I'm into this. KCP. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, 11.5 points.
He does most of his scoring from the outside. He'll nail 3 threes, something like that.
You know it.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. 3-name players.
I knew you would.
Well, I love the 3-name players.
All right, I think I emptied my notebook. I think that's it. That's all I got for today.
You did some work today. Well done.
Thank you. A little more time. I'm just double checking here. Make sure I got everything. Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, so we're on the Knicks. We think the Knicks are going to take care of business, or at least keep it close enough to cover. We think the Pels are going to, keep it close enough to cover, and then we got a ton of prop bets too. So
we'll log these on the sheet, and we'll track them.
Awesome.
All right, nice work, David. Number 2 in the books.
This is excellent. We had 15 people view our first pod as well, so
getting some good feedback.
It's growing really quickly.
Very nice.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
See ya.